Okay, folks, we're going to be doing something a little bit interesting tonight. If I can get it in the shot here. Um, so that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be okay. I got sound. I don't think I need to listen to the headphones anymore. But what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be doing a recording for an upcoming YouTube video. Okay, actually a couple. So that's what we're going to be doing. So everybody just bear with me for a few moments while we get set up, and we'll get this party started. Thank you. Howdy, Trevor. How you doing? So yeah, for those just tuning in, I'm just getting set up here. We're going to be doing a live video recording session, and what that means is I'm going to be recording some upcoming videos, and you get to watch them. And yes, that is intentional that we have the camera director's view up for you. Because yeah, you're my unofficial directors. Obviously, not really directing, but you can feel like it. You can be in the director's chair. You get to see what frame rate we're shooting at, all that good, cool stuff. See the waveforms on the audio meters, etc. So anyway, everybody, give me just a few moments to get set up, and we'll get started. Okay, folks, I have returned, and now we are ready to get this show started. So, as you might have guessed, today we're going to be talking about the GNU public license. And I want to underscore all of this. First of all, is that you're going to get to see the bloopers because you're watching the live take. But I also want to underscore the fact that I am not a lawyer. I did not have millions of dollars to check this with a lawyer either. So, is not legal advice. Anyway, but let's see here what the chat's saying. Trevor said, I'm surprised how professional that you are willing to live record your upcoming YouTube videos. Yeah, I just thought it would be a cool idea. You know, we're about to find out just how bad of an idea this is by testing in production. That's what we're about to do. But I hope that this will be a good idea. Anyway, I will be responding to the chat in between takes of things and such. But yeah, so let's turn the heater off in here, because it's got to be beautiful sounding. I also want to note that the audio you're hearing on the stream is processed, but the audio that's being recorded for post is not. So just in case any of the audio nerds are wondering, wow, it's very compressed. Are you sure you really want to start with that? I'm not starting with that. That's just what you all get to hear on the stream, so it sounds a little louder and clearer for you. I also have added a little bit of, is it expanding? It's gate. I added a little bit of gating to the room, which I probably don't even really need the gate. Might as well just turn it off real quick, actually. So let me do that real quick. Bear with me, folks. I am testing out a new way of doing this stuff tonight, the broadcasting. So we're going to find out just how reliable or unreliable that the new way of doing this is. And if it does hopefully good, we will be able to do it this way again. If not, then I may have some more bugs to figure out here. So, but yeah, everybody, just bear with me for a minute, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the noise gate off, because when I was testing this, I thought, it may probably since turned it on, but come to think of it, where I'm going to be recording with the heater off, which is the main thing I was trying to cut out, and the noise gate is not really perfectly dialed in, so it's probably annoying to the audio carrying users out there. So I'm just going to turn it off. Yeah, you just give me just a second. This is a thing I have to do a bit of a hard way, unfortunately. So just bear with me for just a second. Kind of hard to do this and type at the same time, so I'll be right back. Okay, and just like that, we do not have any gating anymore. So fingers crossed that this is going to be great. All right. So let's get the party started. So we're going to talk, like I said, about the GPL license. And that's where we're going to start with this. So let's go ahead, and yes, I am going to be reading some of this off the Wikipedia page because of reasons. So, i.e. because it's easier for me to do that than to have to remember this. This is one of the few things I'm almost scripting. Keyword around almost, because it's still not scripted, but it feels closer to it. Make the font bigger so you all can see it good, and also so I can, because I'm kind of far away from my computer monitor. And let's go ahead and get started. So here we go. And I'll put my camera in the corner for you as well. Hold on just a minute. Let's see here. Button. Okay, hold on. If you can't tell, I'm still learning how this works. And I think I got it. All right. Hopefully that looks great. Anyway, let me adjust my framing just a tad here too, because I am just a little bit too close to the bottom. Oh, now I'm too close to the top. Okay, this is the fun part about being your own camera operator, folks, is you very quickly have to get used to this kind of stuff. So there we go. I think that's really what we want right there, I think. All right. So, let's let the party begin. That's what we will go ahead and do right now. And actually, you know what? Maybe we'll just switch the camera back. Yeah, let's just switch the camera back. Okay. So I'm going to hit record. You can see that red text comes up on the camera monitor. That means we're officially going for a take. So here we go. I guess I should, just in case I ever need that for sync later. Hi everyone and welcome to Open Source Tonight. Hi everyone and welcome to Open Source Tonight. Today I wanted to talk to you all about licensing, everybody's favorite topic. Really? Okay, maybe not nobody's favorite topic, but I guess the lawyers are interested in this video. For the rest of us, software developers and users of open source software, open source licenses come in and you've got a bunch. You've got the MIT license, the GPL v2 and 3, etc. So I guess the first question is, which one do you choose if you are building software that uses one of these licenses? Well, you know, personally, I like GPL v2. So part of this is going to be personal preference, right? Depending on what you think is the license for you, as far as like the way it's architected, you know, that will be something to keep in mind. For example, TiVoization in GPL v3 is prevented. And that's basically where you could like, at least if I understand this correctly, and this is a cursory understanding, but like where you couldn't like ship the install inside of something like a TiVo. Again, like some kind of like proprietary box, you know, and not provide source easily and such. So again, GPL v2 is what the Linux kernel is licensed in, and that's why you can see it in Roku boxes and TiVos and all kinds of other things that I don't even probably have the whole list in front of me even if I wanted to. But regardless of that, it depends on your license what people can do with it. So, you know, for example, the MIT license is very permissive, meaning it is a very open license is kind of the way I like to think about it, where realistically you can close source MIT code, you know, after you make changes to it. You don't have to commit your changes back from what I understand. Again, it's nice to do these things, open source your changes and commit them back. The BSD license is another example of a more permissive license where, again, you have a lot more options available to you as the software developer, or the user, I'm sorry, of that software as far as like making a proprietary thing off of it. That's why, for example, Mac OS, in deep inside of it, has OS called Darwin, and inside of Darwin it's based on FreeBSD. And FreeBSD is open source, and Darwin is open source, but macOS is not. Anyway, regardless of that, if you're the software developer, you could always dual license it. So technically, even if it's open source, Apple could give themselves a proprietary license, for example, to Darwin, which Darwin is open source. But regardless, you know, they could like dual license it if they wanted to. So again, it's going to depend on what you're looking for as far as licensing goes. Are you a little bit more interested in really expecting that code to be, you know, returned, i.e., you know, your changes? For something like GPL, you have to publish changes, right? So if I took, let's say, your GPL2 program and I added feature Y to it, I need to commit that source back to you. Like it needs, that source has to remain public, right? In my copy that I give out to people, I need to provide source. So again, this is my understanding of this stuff. Again, I want to just clarify. Well, actually, I haven't said this in the take yet. I'm recording this on a live broadcast too, but I just want to say that the thing about it is, I'm not a lawyer. I haven't factored this as a lawyer. I just don't have the money. But this is my cursory understanding of the licensing. And it seems to me like that it's like pretty much anything in life you're going to choose based on what you want and your preference to it. Again, for me, I like GPL v2. However, the MIT license, if you want to be a little more permissive, or the FreeBSD license are interesting options too. You know, so regardless of that, there is complications. And like I said, if you're basing something off of somebody else's code that's open source, depending on the license, you have a certain list of requirements. For example, from what I understand, you couldn't take GPL code and put it in FreeBSD. Not the OS, but that too. But like, I mean, like the licensing standpoint, right? Because from what I understand, you have to always allow for changes. And if you're doing FreeBSD, the BSD license, sorry, not the FreeBSD license, but just the BSD license, that source doesn't have to remain open. And so from what I understand, that would violate the terms of the GPL. So you would need to publish under a compatible license, to actually be compliant with the license. Right. So for example, like I said, GPL v2, if your program is on that, I would need to be, I think you can do GPL 3 on that. I think you can up it, but I don't, from what I understand, if memory serves and my understanding is right, I don't believe you actually have the ability to, say, convert it to a BSD or an MIT. If anyone in the comments knows otherwise, please let us know. Again, I don't claim to be the expert on this. I just kind of figured I would post a little video about it, just talking about what little bit I believe I've got right, and if I don't, again, don't take it as instant fact. Do your own research. I'll put some links in the description to some more information about the GNU Public License, MIT, etc., so you can do your own research starting from there. And everybody, thanks for watching Open Source Tonight. I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye, everybody. I probably should have asked what everybody's favorite license was. That would have been good. That would have been good. Anyway, we're going to cut the recording there. And as you can see, our time code at the top of the screen there immediately goes back to white text to signify we are no longer recording. And speaking of that, because we're no longer recording, I'm going to turn my heat on because it is cold in my office with the heat off. There we go. And so I'm going to turn my heat back on, which I've now done. And I hope you can't hear it too much, but it is there. So, again, for those watching the live stream, this is the GPL v2 right here. The Wikipedia page for it anyway. And, we probably didn't need to zoom in that much. Yeah, let's see here. How much do we need to zoom in? Let's see. That's almost exactly where it was, I think. But it might even been exactly where it was. But anyway, I think that will probably look good, especially on like cell phones and stuff. We got to consider it that, right? But yeah, so the GPL, the GNU Public License, and yeah, again, this is something that is talked about a lot, is the 4 freedoms are to run, study, share, and modify the software. The license was the first copyleft license. And so for those that are wondering, a copyleft license, basically what that means is that we're using the copyright system in effect kind of in this weird hacky way to open source code. And so that's my understanding of it. Again, it's cursory. Again, if anybody has any thoughts on this or questions, feel free to put them in the chat room at this time. This is an unannounced live stream, so I have a feeling I probably won't get a lot of people in the chat. I do know I've seen Trevor in there earlier, so we might get a few other people or something here throughout the show. We'll see. But I just thought this would be interesting. And also, while you're in there, feel free to tell me, or after the fact on the recording as well, because I'm leaving it up, what your thoughts are on this kind of an idea where you watch me record the end product, right? The actual segment. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know. So, anyway, that's, like I said, our first thing to be broadcast there. Now, if we go ahead and we talk about another thing here, let's see, what was another thing I was going to talk about? 'Cause now I'm kind of like trying to remember, what was it? Oh yeah, so there was a program called Open Switcher, which I don't know if I can get it to work. I had issues with it the other day, trying to get it to install. I installed it in a VM, and then I tried to open it on actual hardware, and I had issues. So if we go look at that real quick here, this is it right here. And this is the website for it. And you can see it's a nice GTK GUI application here. That looks, like I said, really nice. And, again, no real complaints here except for the install process. And just so everybody knows, this actually is used to control a Blackmagic ATEM switcher. That is what it is used for, okay? And I'm using one of those right now. So again, I could actually demo that for you right now if I get it to work. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, when I tried to install the program before via the Flatpak down here, it's had some issues. So I think what I'm going to do instead, I think we'll talk about Pipewire now. And let me open up a new tab. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to look into Pipewire. So Pipewire is like this audio video framework for Linux. Think of it like Pulse Audio, but kind of like, you know, like a more intense version, basically. Let's see here. Okay, so this right here, we'll talk about this project right here. And as you can see, if we actually look, this is the website for it. And again, you know, talking about this, I think it's pretty interesting. I think it's pretty interesting here. You know, as far as the framework goes. So what I'm going to do is basically talk about this, and this could be something that could replace, say, Pulse Audio or the Jack Audio Toolkit in Linux, for example. And, you know, so it also provides like video capture APIs for things like Wayland. So we'll go ahead and talk about that. Right after let's see here. I only have 4 minutes of recording space left. I may need to clear some files here on my SSD before we continue. But let's just see if we can knock this out of the park real quick. And let's see if we can do that. So, all right, folks, here we go. I'm going to hit record again. Do a quick clap in case we need it. Okay, here we go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Open Source tonight. Hold on, let me do that again. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Open Source tonight. Vincent here, and today I wanted to talk to you all about what the heck is Pipewire. So let's talk about it. Pipewire, what it is it is basically, you can think of it as like audio video framework. Now, it can be used to capture video for, say, a screen capture on Wayland desktops, Wayland composited sessions, you know, again, Wayland, the display server and everything. It can also be used at the same time for audio recording and playback. And it's got features, from what I can gather, that are somewhat similar to Jack Audio in some ways, and similar to Pulse Audio in other ways as well. So to me, I kind of compare it to like it's the best of both worlds, both Pulse and Jack Audio. And full disclosure, by the way, I've had issues with Jack Audio in the past, so I'm not like a huge fan of it, but I know a lot of people are. And, you know, again, maybe I just had issues getting it to work. I'd like it if I get it to work. It sounds cool. I just have a lot of issues with reliability around it. But anyway, regardless of that, it would allow you to combine both. And Jack is this like more professional audio toolkit for Linux that allows you to do some more advanced routing and such, which I think would be really cool if I ever could get it to work good. But again, some people have. And so if you want something like that, Linux, you know, with Jack can do that. And then we have Pulse Audio, which is really more for your standard desktop user that really doesn't need anything fancy. It has some routing capability and features, but it's really more desktop, simple setup kind of a thing, versus Jack really reminds me more of something that you might use for radio or you might use for audio mixing of some kind. So that's the story when it comes to Pipewire. Real quick there. It's basically just a simple to use framework, or I hope simple to use. I haven't really coded anything around Pipewire yet, but it is really an up and coming standard in the Linux world, and I look forward to seeing what happens to it next. Well, everybody, thanks for watching Open Source tonight. I hope you found today's video interesting and informative, and thanks for watching. Goodbye, everybody. Okay, I wonder how that turned out. Let's stop the recording. We had 1:32 from looks of it. Yeah, 1:32. I'm looking at that on my multi-view, so I'm having to look at that like in a small window. But if I switch my camera up to a full view, yeah, it's pretty obvious to me that yeah, we were running out of time there. So yeah, I think that's probably the case. Yeah, I mean, you know, folks, I got to tell you, I'm not really sure what else I'm going to do on the show. I was kind of hoping that the chat would come in more, but I got to be honest, I don't think it's going to tonight. That's what you get for doing an unscheduled live stream, unfortunately. No big deal, but I was going to chat with y'all for a little while and maybe even come up with an idea to shoot a video about something while we're chatting. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen because nothing comes to mind. But I do appreciate your viewership. I want to talk about the fact real quick that OST's done really good lately. Let's turn the graphics off for this because that's really not necessary. Hold on. So let me go in here. And now you'll see what looks to be a clean feed again. So it's just us now. And actually, I should probably switch it to DCI 4K too, real quick. Hold on, because that's what I was recording in. So let me go back here to the full 16:9 sensor view, and there. Now that looks even better. But anyway, like the thing about it is that what am I talking about? Thing about it is that the channel has really been doing great lately, and I appreciate everybody's viewership. I appreciate the new subscribers, and especially the new viewers. There's a bunch of new viewers. The video I posted about a week ago now, a little over a week ago, my latest one, what was it called? Like More Great Things About Linux or something to that effect. That Pacific one, I got to tell you, like people really liked it. Also, I'm seeing someone in the chat. Let's see who it is. I don't really recognize the username, but they say, yo, homies. Well, hi. Yeah, so, I mean, I'll chat with the chat room for a minute if anybody wants to ask me some questions or something, but I've already recorded a couple of videos here, and I'm trying to think if there's a third one I could record. If not, then I'll probably end the show here pretty soon. But, yeah, so I don't know, if it's going to be an interesting idea to do these live streams like this. Where I'm like recording the segments for the actual YouTube videos, the recorded stuff in the first place. But I thought it'd be an interesting idea to try it. And, that's kind of where I'm at with this. It's a little experiment to see if that you all are interested in this, and if you all, want to watch me basically record the videos. For those just tuning in, I did talk a little bit about Pipewire in the last video. That was really what it was about, and here's the website to it, as you can see. And so, again, this was something that was discussed pretty heavily. And regardless of that, I accidentally did a fade coming back from that shot, by the way. I meant to actually do a cut, but anyway, I hit the wrong button. They're right next to each other. But regardless of that, that's kind of where we're at, is just like doing these like videos where I'm recording them, and y'all can watch, and I'll leave this up for those that want to come back and watch this later or whatever, and share it and such. I did another video earlier about the GPL license, and licensing and stuff in general here for those just tuning in, and that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm trying to think if there's another good video that I can kind of go ahead and do the take of real quick of the A-roll. That's me talking to the camera while I'm here. And I'm not really 100% sure what that would be. So I think, considering that my office, I've had to have the heat off for most of the show, I may just go ahead and end it here in a few minutes because I'm not really sure what else to record. And like I said, I was hoping to talk to the chat room a little more, but the chat room and just the viewership in general on this unannounced live stream at the last second is a lot lower than I'd like it to be, which is understandable. But, again, that's something I was kind of hoping it wouldn't be too low on. So, yeah, folks, I'm going to end the show in like 2 or 3 minutes. If anybody has any questions, let me know. That being said, I did, if you see my studio plans live stream, I don't know if I've mentioned this or not on OST yet, but I actually got my equipment rack working. And if I take the camera and I show you that real quick here, hold on. It is right here. This is the equipment rack, and I've set it all up. And it's, that's where we're at on this right now, is the fact that we've got it all set up. Let me bring the camera back. But yeah, so I've got that rack set up now with my audio board. It's actually off right now. I had to borrow its network connector. I need to get more Ethernet up here running around. But until then, I may have to borrow it every once in a while. But anyway, yeah, that's, a big update on the studio here. Um, and yeah, I think that pretty well covers the show, everybody. So I do appreciate you watching today's live broadcast. And thanks for watching. I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye, everybody.